Well, I want to start off by saying congrats to you all. This is so exciting. How are you feeling about fans finally getting to see this project?
It's great.
Very excited.
Very excited. Yeah.
What drew you to this? It's such a fascinating story, I feel.
For me, you're right. It's an incredibly fascinating story, and a story that I don't think has been, one of the few amazing stories, historic stories, that hasn't really been told. Not in the kind of detail that I think it deserves or warrants. The book is obviously something of sort of mythic proportions. It's incredible. And it's something that I read as a young man and fell in love with, and that drew me to the film, which was also wonderful. But from there, the story kind of got lost, I think, because it's something that happened before the moon landing, and the moon landing kind of took up all of our imaginations. That's what we wanted to know about, how we got there, who was involved in that program. It was difficult for us to kind of go backwards and pay attention to these people who were responsible for building the program in the first place. So for me personally, I was drawn to the chance to be able to draw some attention to these people, because I think they've been sort of criminally underrepresented, and the story has not been told enough.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, like, I came into this as an actor, obviously, so it was the script that I read first, and I hadn't seen the movie or read the book. I knew about them, but I kind of got to go into the script blind, and kind of like what Patrick said, there's just so much about the moon landing and the Apollo missions, and it's all, very well deserved. But I think the only astronaut of the Mercury 7 that I knew by name going into this project was John Glenn, which I think our show kind of gets into why that might be the case, how each one of these astronauts handled the fame that came along with it at the time, and how that fame kind of aged over time. So it was the script for me, and the script was just incredible. It was kind of the script that everyone was talking about once it came out. All the actors that I knew that had, had a chance to read it were talking about it before it ever, made it to me. And so when I finally got to have a chance to read it and go in for it, I was already at a 10, and it didn't disappoint, So, I'd say the script, and then also, just illuminating the inception of the NASA program, and kind of that neck and neck race. I think landing on the moon was really when, America says, like, all right, we got there first. But before that, it was, a really contentious neck and neck race with the Russians, which propelled the momentum to, in such a short amount of time, from Shepard's flight in 1961 to the moon landing just 8 years later. It's kind of, an incredible story that needs to be told. And it was really exciting to read the script. It was just so good at telling it.
And did you all undergo any type of training, how hands-on did you get when preparing for these roles?
Focus of our training was mostly with meeting and talking to fighter test pilots. I think we all arrived in Florida excited to go to space camp, like any young men would be, but quickly realized that it actually was going to make a lot more sense in our preparation to be talking to and learning from test pilots, people, because that's the pool from which all these original astronauts were chosen from. And there's a very particular kind of mentality and approach to life that goes along with being a test pilot, because these people's jobs are literally to drive, to fly these planes at speeds beyond what they think is safe, to fly them higher beyond what they think is safe, to push these planes literally beyond the limit, to watch them fail so they know when they're going to fail, which is sort of just a completely insane job. And it was very important for us to get into that mindset before we began the show.
Yeah, by the way, I just want to throw this as a fun anecdote. There was a moment where they were going to put us in our costumes to go visit the Space Center. I don't know if you guys remember that.
I do.
But we weren't sure if there was going to be like actual astronauts there that day that we were going to be interacting with. So for a moment, we thought, like, for a good photo op, why don't we put the whole cast in their costume spacesuits? And we decided not to do that, which was really great, because when we got there were real astronauts in real spacesuits, and we would have looked like a bunch of kids on a field trip playing dress up.
Yeah, great.
We did get into the flight suits, though. Do you remember when we got into the flight suits for the?
We did get into the flight suits. Yeah.
The photographs.
I just have to quickly ask, because the fans really want to know. Patrick, have you been in touch with your former Suits co-star Meghan since she's moved to the States? Maybe trading parenting tips?
I appreciate the question. No, I think she's pretty busy, but I am happy to have her stateside, and I'm very, very happy that she's becoming very vocal and doing whatever she can to help the election in November. So I miss my friend, but I'm very happy she's doing well. And no, we don't really have any regular contact.